Hello, friends. Welcome to 30-Minute Book Summaries. Today we are going to talk about the book Master Your Time by Thibaut Meurisse. Let me ask you something honest. You wake up in the morning full of energy. You tell yourself, today I will finish everything. Today will be different. But by the time night comes, half the things are still undone. You feel tired, and somewhere deep inside, you feel guilty. Sound familiar? Here is the scary truth. It is not because you are lazy. It is not because you don't work hard enough. The real problem is that nobody ever taught you how to manage your time correctly. And today, that changes. Today we are going to talk about a book called Master Your Time, and by the end of this video, you will have a completely new relationship with time. You will know exactly why your days feel wasted, and more importantly, exactly what to do about it. So stay till the end, because the last lesson in this video, that one alone can change everything. Let's go. Part 1. Time is not the problem, you are. Here is something that will surprise you. Every person on this planet, every single one, gets the same 24 hours. You, me, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, the same 24 hours. So why do some people build empires in those 24 hours, while others can't even finish their to-do list? The answer is not time. The answer is how you use time. Most people think time management means squeezing more tasks into the day, work faster, sleep less, do more. But that is completely wrong thinking. Real time management is not about doing more things. It is about doing the strong, right things at the right time. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a glass of water. Now imagine you pour sand into it, and small pebbles, then big rocks. The big rocks don't fit anymore, right? But what if you put the big rocks in first? They fit perfectly. Then the pebbles fill the gaps. Then the sand settles in the spaces between. Everything fits. Your big rocks are your most important tasks, your goals, the things that actually matter in your life. And the sand? The sand is social media, random phone calls, unnecessary meetings, Netflix. Most people fill their day with sand first, and then wonder why the big rocks never fit. The very first lesson of this book: always put your big rocks in first. Part 2. The Time Audit. Where is your time really going? Okay, so before you can manage your time, you need to understand one thing. Where is your time actually going right now? Most people have absolutely no idea. They say things like, I don't have time. But if you actually tracked every single hour of your day for just 1 week, you would be shocked. The book calls this a strong time audit. Here's how it works. For 1 full week, write down everything you do and how long it takes. Wake up, check phone, 45 minutes. Breakfast, 20 minutes. Emails, 1 hour. Random YouTube videos, 1.5 hours. At the end of the week, you look at the total. And this is where people get a wake-up call. Most people discover they spend 2 to 3 hours every single day on things that bring them absolutely zero value. That is 14 to 21 hours every week. That is almost a full extra day just wasted. When you see it written down in front of you, it becomes real. You can't hide from it. You can't make excuses. One study found that people who track their time are 3 times more likely to achieve their goals. Not because tracking magically gives you more hours, but because awareness is the first step to change. You cannot fix what you cannot see. So this week, do a time audit. Just 1 week, track everything, and I promise you, what you discover will shock you and motivate you at the same time. Part 3. The MIT Strategy. The one thing that changes everything. Now this is where it gets really powerful. Every morning when you wake up, your brain is fresh. Your willpower is at its highest. Your focus is at its sharpest. This is your most valuable time of the entire day. And what do most people do with it? Check Instagram, scroll through WhatsApp, watch random reels, read news. By the time they sit down to actually work, their best mental energy is already gone, already wasted on other people's content. The book introduces a strategy called MIT, Most Important Task. Every single morning before you do anything else, identify your one most important task for the day. Not 5 tasks, not a to-do list, just one. The task that if you complete it today, everything else feels secondary. The task that will move you forward the most. And then do that task first. Before email, before social media, before anything. This sounds simple. It is simple, but almost nobody does it. Here's why it works so powerfully. There is a psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain remembers unfinished tasks more than finished ones. So when you complete your most important task early in the morning, your brain feels satisfied, and the rest of your day actually flows better. Successful people all over the world swear by this. They call it different things: eating the frog, deep work, the one thing, but the principle is always the same. Do the most important thing first. Starting tomorrow, before you touch your phone in the morning, ask yourself just one question. What is the one thing I must complete today? Write it down and go do it. That one habit alone can transform your productivity completely. Part 4. The 80-20 rule. Work less, achieve more. Okay, now I want to share something that genuinely changes how you look at everything.
In the late 1800s, an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto made a fascinating discovery. He noticed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the people. Curious, he started looking at other areas of life, and he found the same pattern everywhere. 80% of a company's profits come from 20% of its customers. 80% of problems come from 20% of causes. 80% of your results in life come from just 20% of your efforts. This is called the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. Now apply this to your time. If 80% of your results come from 20% of your tasks, then most of what you do every day doesn't actually matter that much. Think about your work. Think about your day. What are the 2 or 3 things that actually move the needle? The things that actually create results, growth, progress. Now think about how much time you give to those things, honestly. Most people spend 80% of their time on low-value activities. Answering emails, sitting in unproductive meetings, doing tasks that could easily be delegated or deleted. And they give only 20% of their time to the high-value work that actually matters. What if you flipped this? What if you identified your top 20% tasks, the ones that actually create results, and you gave those your best time and energy? You would achieve more in 4 focused hours than most people achieve in a full 10-hour day. The book's message here is clear. Don't try to do everything. Do the right things. Busy is not the same as productive. Stop confusing activity with achievement. Make a list of everything you do in a typical day. Then ask yourself about each item. Does this belong to my 20%? Does this actually move me toward my goals? If the answer is no, cut it, delegate it, or minimize it. Protect your 20%, like it is the most valuable thing you own. Part 5. Time blocking. How top performers own their day. Now let's talk about something that top performers, CEOs, and high achievers all have in common. They don't just have a to-do list. They have a time-blocked schedule. Here's the difference. A to-do list tells you what to do. Time blocking tells you when you will do it. And that difference is everything. Here's how it works. Instead of having a random list of tasks floating around in your mind, you assign every single task a specific time slot in your day. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., deep work on my project. 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., emails. 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., meetings. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., planning for tomorrow. When you have a block for something, it gets done. When you don't, it gets lost. Think of your day like a calendar. Every hour is a slot. If you don't fill those slots intentionally with the things that matter, life will fill them for you with things that don't. The book explains this with a beautiful concept. If it's not scheduled, it doesn't exist. And here's the part most people miss. You must also block time for rest, for thinking, for creativity. Most people feel guilty about taking breaks. They think, I should always be working. But that is exactly the wrong mindset. Your brain is not a machine. It needs recovery time. The most creative ideas don't come when you are staring at your screen under pressure. They come in the shower, on a walk, during a break, when your brain is relaxed and wandering. Some of the world's biggest breakthroughs happen during moments of rest and reflection,
not during 80-hour work weeks. So when you build your time block schedule, include breaks, include lunch without your phone, include a short walk, include thinking time. This is the work. Part 6. The distraction economy and how to win against it. Let me tell you something about the world we live in today. Every app on your phone, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, has entire teams of brilliant engineers and psychologists whose only job is to keep you on that app as long as possible. They study your behavior. They test what hooks you. They are literally competing for your attention 24 hours a day. And attention is the new currency. When you pick up your phone to just check something quickly, and 45 minutes later you are watching videos of cats doing weird things, that is not your fault. That is a system specifically designed to do exactly that. The book calls this the distraction economy, and it is one of the biggest enemies of your time and your potential. So how do you fight back? First, remove temptation from your environment. Don't rely on willpower. Willpower runs out. Instead, make distraction harder to access. Put your phone in another room when you are working. Delete social media apps from your home screen. Use app timers that lock apps after a certain limit. Research shows that just having your phone on your desk, even face down, even turned off, reduces your cognitive capacity by 10%, just by being there. Your brain is always slightly distracted by it, so remove it completely from your workspace. Second, use the 2-minute rule for interruptions. If something will take less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it will take longer, write it down and schedule it. Don't let it break your flow. Third, protect your deep work time fiercely. Tell people around you, from 9 to 11, I am not available. Close your email. Put your phone on flight mode. Create a signal. Headphones on, do not disturb. The people who will thrive in this era are not the ones who are most connected. They are the ones who can disconnect on purpose and focus deeply. That is becoming the rarest and most valuable skill in the world. Guard your attention like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Part 7. The power of saying no. This one is short, but it might be the most important thing in this entire video. 1 word, 2 letters. No. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals, you are saying no to something that does. Every commitment you make is a trade. You are trading your time, your energy, your focus. And most people are terrible at saying no, because they want to be nice, they don't want to disappoint people, they feel guilty. But here's the hard truth. Your time is not infinite. Every yes has a cost. And if you keep saying yes to everyone else's priorities, you will never have enough time for your own. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful people in the world, once said something powerful. He said that the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. The book is very clear on this. You must become ruthless, not with people, but with your time. Learn to say, that sounds great, but it doesn't fit my priorities right now. Learn to say, I can't commit to that. Learn to say, no. Every no to the wrong thing is a yes to the right thing. And here's the beautiful part. When you start saying no more often, people actually respect you more, not less. Because you are showing that your time has value, that you are serious about what you do. So think right now, what are 3 things in your life you keep saying yes to that you should be saying no to? And starting today, say no. Part 8. Batching and the hidden cost of task switching. Have you ever noticed that some days you feel incredibly productive, and other days you feel busy all day, but get almost nothing done? The difference is usually something called task switching. Every time you switch from one task to a completely different one, your brain needs time to warm up to the new task. Psychologists call this cognitive switching cost. Studies show that every time you switch tasks, you lose between 15 to 30 minutes of productive mental energy. Not because the tasks are hard, but simply because your brain has to reset, refocus, and get back up to speed. So if you switch tasks 10 times a day, which most people do easily, you are losing up to 5 hours just from switching. The solution? Task batching. Task batching means grouping similar tasks together and doing them all at once in a dedicated time block. Instead of checking emails every 20 minutes throughout the day, check them twice, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Instead of making one phone call, then doing some work, then making another call, do all your calls back to back in one block. This keeps your brain in the same mode for longer. You stay in the flow, you waste less mental energy on switching, and you get significantly more done. Think of it like cooking. If you are making 5 dishes and you need to chop vegetables for all of them, would you chop for one dish, then go set the table, then come back and chop for another dish, then go check your phone, then chop again? No. You would chop all the vegetables at once. Same principle. Batch your emails, batch your calls, batch your meetings, batch your creative work, batch your administrative tasks. And your productivity will jump noticeably within days. Part 9. The weekly review, the habit that keeps everything on track. Now we are getting close to the end. And this lesson is the one that ties everything together. You can have all the strategies in the world. Time blocking, MIT, 80-20, batching, all of it. But without this one habit, everything slowly falls apart. The weekly review. Once a week, most people do it on Sunday evening or Monday morning. You sit down for 30 to 45 minutes. No phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. And you ask yourself a few simple but powerful questions. First, what did I accomplish this week? Look back honestly. What went well? What are you proud of? Give yourself credit. Most people are so focused on what they didn't do that they never appreciate what they did do. This step matters. Second, what didn't get done and why? Were there tasks that kept getting pushed? Why? Was it procrastination? Was it that the task was not actually important? Was it that you were spending time on the wrong things? Be honest with yourself here. Third, what are my top priorities for next week? Based on where you are with your goals, what are the 3 to 5 most important things next week? Write them down clearly. Fourth, what do I need to schedule and when? Open your calendar. Block time for your important tasks. Schedule your MIT for each morning. Batch your emails. Plan your breaks. This whole review takes less than an hour, but the people who do it consistently outperform those who don't, because they are always course-correcting, always realigning with what matters. Without a weekly review, it is very easy to drift, to spend weeks being busy, but not making real progress, to look back after 3 months and realize you haven't moved. The weekly review keeps you honest. It keeps you focused, and it keeps you moving in the right direction. Part 10. Energy management, the secret nobody talks about. One last thing, and this one is a game changer. We talk a lot about time management, but here is something the book makes very clear. Time is not your most limited resource. Energy is. You can have 24 hours, but if 20 of those hours you are tired, distracted, running on bad sleep and too much coffee, those hours are worth almost nothing. Think about this. Have you ever had a day where you were so in the zone, so focused, so clear, so energized that you got done in 3 hours what would normally take you all day? That is not magic. That is peak energy. The book talks about managing your energy in 4 dimensions. Physical energy, sleep, nutrition, exercise. This is the foundation. If this is broken, everything else breaks. You cannot think clearly on 5 hours of sleep. You cannot focus when your body is running on junk food. Non-negotiable. Emotional energy. Your emotional state affects everything. Stress, anxiety, unresolved conflict, all of these drain your cognitive ability. You need to actively manage your emotional health. Talk to someone, journal, exercise, meditate, whatever works for you. Mental energy. This is your focus, your concentration, your thinking capacity. Protect it. Don't fill your mornings with shallow inputs. Don't drain it on decisions that don't matter. Save it for the work that does. Purpose energy. This is the most powerful one. When you know why you are doing something, when your work is connected to something that genuinely matters to you, you have access to a level of energy and motivation that no caffeine can replicate. People who feel like they never have enough time often actually have an energy problem. They are trying to work when their energy is gone. They are pushing through when they should be resting. And the result is mediocre work that takes twice as long. Work with your energy. Rest when you need to rest. Recover properly. And when you are at your best, give it everything. Because a fully charged person working 5 focused hours will always outperform an exhausted person working 12. So friends, those were the most powerful lessons from Master Your Time. Let me give you a quick recap of everything we covered today. We learned that time is not the problem, how we use it is. We learned about the time audit, track where your time actually goes. We learned the MIT strategy, do your most important task first, every single morning. We learned the 80-20 rule, focus on the 20% of tasks that create 80% of your results. We learned time blocking, schedule your day with intention, or life will fill it for you. We learned how to fight the distraction economy, remove temptation, protect your focus. We learned the power of saying no. Every yes to the wrong thing is a no to the right thing. We learned task batching, group similar work together to eliminate switching costs. We learned the weekly review, the habit that keeps everything aligned. And finally, we learned that energy management is just as important as time management. Now here is your challenge. Pick just one of these lessons, just one, and apply it starting tomorrow. Not next week, not after you finish this playlist, tomorrow. Because here's the truth, knowledge without action is worthless. You can watch 100 book summaries, but if you don't act on even one idea, nothing in your life will change. You now know more than 95% of people about managing your time. The question is, will you use it? Comment below, which one strategy are you going to start with tomorrow? I read every comment. Tell me, and let's hold each other accountable. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. That tells me you are serious, and serious people get results. See you in the next video.